At first flight of the day, one of the first items that you have to check is the status of the batteries. To check the batteries, switch them off and check the voltages. Note, as far as the aircraft is not powered, off lights on the BAT-1 and BAT-2 push-button switches are not lighted on, even in the off position. As you can see, both batteries are below the minimum required 25.5 volt. So, you will have to recharge the batteries from external power. To charge the batteries, you have to switch them on after the aircraft has been powered. The green avail light is not lighted, meaning that you have no ground power. You have to ask the ground personnel to connect a ground cart.
The ground cart is now connected. The green avail light has appeared, which means external power is plugged in, its voltage and frequency are normal, it is ready for use. Switch the external power on.
As soon as the push-button switch is switched to on, the blue on light comes on. This is to indicate that the ground cart is supplying the aircraft.
The ECAM electrical page has been called for you. We can confirm that the external power is supplying normal voltage and frequency because the parameters shown on ECAM are green.
Both BAT-1 and BAT-2 push-button switch have been switched to on. They are now charging from the DC BAT bus. During this time, you can continue with your cockpit preparation. Note, the average charging cycle is approximately 20 minutes.
By following the green lines on the ECAM page, you can see that the external power is supplying all the electrical system. Notice that because the engines are not running, the indications of the associated generators are in amber, and fault is illuminated in amber on the generator push-button switch. On the ECAM page, the battery voltage and current are shown. You can also see the green arrow, which indicates that the DC BAT bus is charging battery 1. As you can see, both batteries have now disconnected from the DC BAT bus. There are no green lines connecting the batteries to the DC BAT bus.
In order to check the battery's voltage, both BAT-1 and BAT-2 push-button switch have been switched to off. Notice the white off indication on the ECAM page and the off light in BAT-1 and BAT-2 push-button switches. As you can see, both batteries now have voltages above 25.5 volt. The battery charging cycle is complete.
We need to switch the batteries back on. We will do this for you. Both batteries are now available. Voltage indications are now displayed green. It is time to start the APU and disconnect external power. We will start the APU for you.
APU generator parameters are now displayed on the ECAM page. Notice that the APU generator has not automatically taken over supplying the electrical system from the external power. This is because external power has priority over the APU unless external power is deselected. To select the APU generator, external power has to be deselected. As soon as the external power is switched off, a green line appears, connecting the APU box to the system. This means that the APU generator is now supplying the aircraft. You can see that the load is 63%. Let's look for a moment at the outside of the aircraft to see the only item related to the electrical system on the walk-around. You should check that the external power access door is closed, if not in use. It is now time to start the engines. Usually, when we start the engines, the ECAM engine page is displayed. However, for training purposes only, we will keep the ECAM electrical page displayed throughout the flight. The electrical system is designed so that each engine generator will automatically come online and power its respective bus. We will start engine 2 first. The engine is running. Notice the generator automatically supplies the right side of the electrical system, leaving the APU to power the left side. Notice also that the fault light on the generator 2 push-button switch has disappeared. Engine 1 can now be started. The engine 1 generator takes over from the APU to supply the left-hand side of the system. The fault light on the generator 1 push-button switch has also disappeared. The APU is no longer connected to the system, and the APU generator is now showing 0% load. Once both engines are running, the APU can be switched off. Let's now describe the end of the flight. The APU is running, both engines have just been stopped. The APU generator is back online and has automatically taken over, supplying the entire electrical system. The avail light on the panel and the external power indications on the ECAM have appeared, indicating that the external power source is plugged in and available. As soon as the external power push-button switch is switched to on, the on light comes on, and the green lines to AC bus 1 and 2 indicate that external power has taken over from the APU. We can now shut down the APU. The APU is off. The external power can now be also switched off. The external power is off. As soon as all the main power sources are disconnected, the LCD screens become blank. To shut down the entire electrical system, we must switch off the batteries. This will be done for you. All lights on the overhead panel have disappeared, except the avail light, which is receiving power from the external cart. The battery voltage indications are LCDs and are wired directly to the batteries, so that they are always displayed. The aircraft is now considered to be electrically shut down.